correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. The setting of this campaign, Origin, is inspired by West African cultures, histories, and aesthetics. None of the players, and certainly not myself, have lived experience or even ancestry from that part of the world. While Origin is part of the canonical setting for Exalted, I've drawn on real-world West African traditions to help bring the setting more fully to life. This isn't meant to be an accurate historical or cultural portrayal, and it is definitely not a commentary on any real-world nations, peoples, or beliefs. One key difference is theological. While Timbuktu and the surrounding regions were deeply shaped by the arrival of Islam, Exalted has its own divine and mythological structure that plays out very differently. My hope is to approach these inspirations with respect and care, and I welcome feedback if I fall short. In the session notes, there will be a short list of resources to learn about the real history of West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you. All right. I guess we can start playing then. As Steve mentioned, you guys went to see what you thought was a merchant, rotund middle-aged man, shaved head, neatly oiled beard, gold-ringed ear, in expensive robes, and he reacted to your inquiries about the veil that hunts the sun with a "oh," and who were you? Somebody flashed a caste symbol or something, and he stood up, shape-shifted into a much younger and much more physically fit guy, and stopped masking his tattoos. He's covered in moon silver tattoos that are the mark of the Lunar Exalted, who have joined the Silver Pact, or one of the similar organizations for Lunars.
I thought it was a woman. Or am I just misremembering?
Oh, you originally go to see the woman?
I thought it was an older woman was what she originally presented as.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got mixed up. I've got several of his forms out on call, and I forgot which one it was. I guess it probably would have been Salayi of House Najora as the cover.
Yes, that's what I have down. And now we saw someone named Singare. That may have been the older merchant man.
That's the older merchant woman bookseller.
Okay, that's right. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Kumba Singare.
Okay, that was which we met with Parviz when we first got to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he introduced himself as Tene of Kel Runfe, or Tene Moonmarked, or any number of other things that you'd want to call him. Janafara Ba, which means the Great Civet, and Sira Yumu, which is one who walks the Dusk Road. But he's just called Tene for now.
Okay.
So he looks at you all, looks around and says, "So tell me, what brings the Chosen of the Sun to Origin?"
Are we doing it that Parviz is there with us, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Parviz is there with us, and yeah.
Well, I happen to have a map. How about you?
He smiles slightly and says, "You had mentioned the veil that hunts the sun, or you wouldn't have been directed my way. You mentioned it to Kumbara Sangre, did you not?"
I?
Then
We did it. We did.
what is
Also,
what is
well, we did encounter this veil that hunts the sun once, but it appears they may be tied to goings-on in the city a little more closely than we first believed.
Yes, he is. I don't have all the pieces yet. I know he operates through an agent called the Spider, and
Which
he has
we
other
have
agents.
interacted with.
What?
Which we have contacted and interacted with. The Spider.
Yes, we know who that individual is.
And he sort of pauses like he's expecting you to give him a name. But then continues. He says, he has other agents, but they're mostly run through the Spider. I believe that his intention is to ensure there is enough death and suffering in Gem to bring forth, to create a Shadowland and bring forth the dead. Or perhaps he's planning to create it elsewhere, and perhaps even is in conversation with them. Regardless, he's moving through the city. He has a number of agents. And you said you encountered him. Where did you encounter him?
Well, in the course of Parviz's map, we became aware of, was it Umbara Sere?
Mm-hmm.
We became aware of Umbara Sere. It sits outside the city. Apparently, that connects to my companion. I kind of nod to Parviz. We entered the ancient tomb, or whatever it was, and upon exiting, we were waylaid by the veil. We had a bit of a conflict with him, although relatively short. Since, however, through various interactions, it has become apparent that this spider of his is the gem-connected gem merchant, Madhu Jarek.
Interesting. I don't doubt your veracity, but that's not something my sources have pulled up. Still, chosen of the sun, and he just shrugs. So, what is your true interest here? Are you simply here to deal with the veil, or do you have other interests in mind?
As one does in our adventures, we would like to deal with the veil, but in dealing with the veil, it seems as though that would help alleviate some additional issues as far as people we've met in the area that we've been.
Yes, we've also been working with a council of locals who wish to see the return of, well, the gods to the city.
Masindala's favor?
Yes.
Well, and how do they propose to do that?
Well, it's not going to be a quick process. What they would like to do is return Gem to its former status as, or not Gem, but return Origin to its former status as the first among equals, if you will.
So, to overthrow Gem's control of the region.
Somewhat, yes. Or at least how they leave Gem to its own devices, or Origin rather.
Well, that aligns with both my personal interests in the region. I originally came here to break up the slave trade in this region, as Gem is the largest consumer of slaves, and Gem's domination of the region extends to protecting merchants. It's removing their power and ideally dropping them into a civil war amongst themselves, so that they don't have any extra money to spend on importing slaves. Well, that would not hurt my feelings in the least.
Oh, mine either. That would be a very pleasant side effect of this whole deal.
And as far as the Veil that hunts the sun, if you mean to kill him, I would give you any aid I can.
Well, if you say he intends to bring widespread violence and death, that certainly would not help our plan here.
Certainly doesn't align with our standards.
Yes, our goals were much more to, if you will, push Gem out as opposed to force them out. At least not with brute force.
However, having fought, at least to some extent, the Veil that hunts the sun, it definitely feels an uphill battle. So I'm not sure, and at this point I'm not sure what aid we would need. We are just trying to make a plan.
Well, I think I've identified some of his agents. You've identified another. I think if we start rolling up his network, he'll have to stand and fight us.
Well, I can tell you, for various reasons, we connected this Jarek fellow to an assassin that was hunting a child in the city. Just to make his life difficult, shall we say some of his inventory was reduced. At which point, I received a bit of an unpleasant note signed The Veil That Hunts the Sun, telling me to stop playing with his pet spider.
Well, are you going to stop playing with his pet spider?
No.
I mean...
Very well then. But understand me, I don't mean to play with his pet spider. I mean to kill it. Then when he comes looking for revenge, we kill him.
I have no qualms with killing a spider.
Nor do I. So, slight away from the moment, we never went back to see exactly what was going on after the actual heist at Jarek's to see how that shook out, did we?
That's when you found out that he's got the Iron Siaka and he's increased security and all that.
Okay.
But then again, no, you guys did a second heist. No, you have not gone back.
Okay. Yes, yes. Definitely want to observe him some more and see exactly what's going on, although, I believe what was done should have had a significant impact.
Yes, well, I prefer somewhat more final resolutions. But regardless, I would ask, he sort of smiles, as a sign of good faith, that you would aid me in my particular mission. I have something that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do, but Lunar provides. With your aid, it would be trivial.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the realms House Sinus.
That doesn't spell to me.
Well, House Sinus is a mercantile inclined house of dragon-blooded who have the monopoly for certain goods on the Blessed Isle and elsewhere. One of those goods is slaves. Now, very few slaves get exported north out of this region. Yina makes it extraordinarily difficult for slavers to cross the Great Desert successfully. She and her people are rather enthusiastic about making that a poor proposition for a merchant who isn't seeking a battle. But House Sinus has come with Dragonblood, and they are seeking to see if this would be a potential source. Now, the last thing we need is a dynastic house buying slaves, driving up the price of slaves and incentivizing more slave raiding, and all the rest in this region. I think and we don't want the realm to, where a dynastic house goes, realm control follows. As much as I'd love the realm and gem to rip into each other with weapons, that's not, I just don't want them in the region. Now, if they go and they return with a great number of slaves and make a huge profit, well, that's just going to encourage others of their house to come down. And you see my problem? If we attack them and they go home speaking of lunar and solar anathema, well, then we'll have the Wild Hunt dispatched in our direction. A small army with dozens of dragon-blooded. And I don't think we want that either. No, I think the only way to deal with this caravan is for it to completely disappear. What do you say to that?
Well, all for interrupting the slave trade. This caravan is in the vicinity of the city currently?
They have gone to Scathe to purchase their slaves taken by the nobles of Scathe. That's the basis of their wealth. They'll be coming back to Origin because Origin is the gateway to the north. They can hardly avoid it. What I'd like to do is ambush them somewhere in the Ama Basin and throw their bones in the river.
And what would we do with the slaves themselves?
We'll give them a choice. Whatever choice they make. I'm not going to tell them to do one thing or the other. I'll tell them, their lives are their own. They can return to the hills that they were probably kidnapped from. They can take a portion of the supplies that the caravan had. They can do what they please. I don't want House Sinus's tendrils in this region. We have quite enough problems of our own without letting foreigners bring more problems.
Well, I think on that we can agree. I just wanted to be sure. Well, as much as I hate slavers, I don't wish any will to the slaves themselves.
No. It's one reason I was having a moment considering the question, because as you probably know, when the dragon-blooded burned their essence, you and I, well, When we burn our essence, you and I, we glow. It's the cool light of the sun, the warm light of the moon. When the dragon-blooded, they glow with the fury of the elements. And a dragon-blooded flaring their anima in the middle of a bunch of pack animals and slaves is going to leave a lot of bodies on the ground. And I don't really want that. And besides, if it was just me against a group of dragon-blooded, there's a risk there. And I certainly wouldn't be able to take them down clean. But with you three, they wouldn't be expecting that. They may have heard of one anathema in this region. They certainly wouldn't be expecting all of this.
What do you know of the numbers of dragon-blooded, etc. in this caravan?
There are at least 2, and possibly a third. There is one who bears a green jade bow and armor. He is undoubtedly a dragon-blooded. The other, he is a dragon-blooded of the House Sinus. The other is a merchant. He's security. He's a guard. Fire in aspect. He does not wear the symbols of a dynastic house, which doesn't mean he isn't part of one, but he may also be an outcast hired as a mercenary leader. There's a third individual that I believe is a dynast, but and he just sort of gestures. He doesn't bear any jade, and he may or may not be. He's certainly a dynast. He wears House Sinus, but whether he is dragon-blooded or not. Then again, he looks young, and perhaps his family has not trusted him with the jade artifact. Either way, I don't want either of the 2 Sinuses or their hired mercenary to make their way back anywhere and report about a group of anathema. That seems like it would be unpleasant at best and highly dangerous at worst.
Okay, question from me. As he's talking about this, I remember the captain of the Prince's Guard, or whatever exactly the individual we believe to be a dragon-blooded. Did we get any house information from that individual?
Oh, he is not of a dynastic house. He is what they call an outcast.
Okay.
Or, sorry, outcast. In other words, so the dynastic houses are the ruling houses of the dragon-blooded realm, which is the big superpower colonial empire country based on the Russia-sized island in the center of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a long way from them, but they have a lot of puppet kingdoms and satrapies and so on and so forth. They have a lot of influence pretty much across creation. Okay. You're out of their normal range, but you really don't want to invite their attention because they can send an army literally anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So this needs to be quick and decisive. So when would you propose this action be conducted?
Well, a little birdie told me that they were making their way up to the main trade road from Scathe. And then once they hit that, we could ambush them at any point along the way. So that gives us 300 miles to choose from. The further out from origin we want to hit them, the sooner we need to go. I don't really think we need to go 200, 300 miles away.
No.
It'll take the trip from Scathe to Origin takes about 3 weeks. So perhaps in a week we could meet up and go out and, handle this question, and then that will.
A week should be enough time. That will give us a little bit of time to get some affairs in order.
And on the matter of the spider, do you wish to do it yourselves, or would you like me to?
I think, why don't we see how well this goes, and we can discuss how to deal with the spider after.
He looks at you a little oddly, shrugs. As you
Well,
wish it.
Or,
question though, Parviz. If we do something about this spider prior to this, then perhaps that throws confusion and even greatens our chances of the disappearance being more complete.
well, that is true. Dealing with the spider beforehand probably wouldn't be a terrible idea, and I was a bit close-minded to suggest otherwise. And I think you're onto a right path, that we can use the squashing of a spider, the disappearance of a wagon. It can all get sort of swept into the same odd circumstances.
I mean, to me, it would make sense if we squash the spider right before we leave, which makes that circumstance a bit more confusing as well.
Yeah. So,
I think perhaps if you take the lead on the spider, I won't speak for my companions here, but I would be willing to help. But I think that might also sow more confusion. Well, I have received warnings. If I, say, some way appear obviously not the one who did it, it might generate confusion for the Veil.
Yeah. So you wish me to remove him in a way that could not be mistaken for your actions.
Or you remove him, well, I not so much could not be mistaken for my actions, but perhaps we coordinate where I am doing something else which might ire the Veil, and you take care of the spider, and now the Veil isn't quite sure what's going on.
Do you have any thoughts on what might be a good thing for you to be doing?
Well, I have twice been to his place of business. Don't know what your intentions were, but I could cause another ruckus there while you stomp on a spider elsewhere, and that would make two things happening at the same time. Don't know what your plan was per se. Perhaps,
I have a number of irons in the fire.
perhaps there could be some sort of incident in which, his place of business got a little crispy and he happens to turn up squashed somewhere not terribly near it.
Well, I'm not sure where he sleeps, but I can give it a name. I can find. So, and just sort of shrugs. So, I will do what it is that I do. In 6 days, I will remove Madrugeric. You can take whatever it is whatever action you wish to do. As a token of good favor, I have a name to give you. The name is Avaros Nera. He's a slimy little spice merchant. Oh, and he's the best spice merchant. His books are immaculate, but the income-expense ratios don't match reality. He's moved caravans that are supposed to be dry goods, but contain things that stink of the grave. I have freed several slave shipments that had his personal codes in their books, and the manifests indicated that he was indirectly buying them. I know that he can get into any kitchen because he, as I said, is the best at what he does. And what he does is provide exotic spices from all over creation, including some that nobody really knows. One of his employees is wearing one of those that appears to be his employee is already dead and wearing skin that isn't his. He's a man that perfumes corruption so that no one is willing to smell it. If you want to look into him, well, I'm sure you'll soon find confirmation of my assertions.
Cyclone just kind of nods thoughtfully.
He just sort of grins. All right then. Is there anything else that we need to discuss in particular, or he just sort of, if that concludes business, then I guess we could do this backwards. You could tell me a bit about yourselves. Obviously none of you are from Origin. So we don't need to go through you guys' backstory, but we've been through multiple times. The only question is, are you guys going to open up and share your backstories with him, or are you going to decline and have some coffee and head out of here?
I think Cyclone would share some bits. Perhaps the bit about him basically growing up as an orphan when his parents were taken by slavers, but very guarded in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like enough to go, hey, look, yeah, I'm down with your goals here, but I'm not giving up. And I feel like, you know, Cyclone intentionally doesn't keep details like that, so to speak.
Yeah. So yeah. All he really shares is that he's from a small village, and that he wasn't really, and that obviously Luna agreed that he wasn't made for a life of simply tilling the fields. That's all he'll really go into. All right.
I mean, I have no problem, you know, talking about the fact that I'm from the scavenger lands and whatnot. Nothing too detailed, but I am always happy to talk about being from the scavenger lands, because, you know, yay.
Yep. All right. Okay. So what do you guys want to do for your 6 days of farting around until it is time to cause some problems, or are you guys going to, or do you guys want to just like time skip up? We don't have to go over every minute.
I wanted to take a moment and discuss maybe bringing some of the
Bound?
yes, on the mission with us to try and assist with separating the slaves from the slavers and getting us a safer working space.
Okay, so like, so basically using them to sort of herd the slaves away from where you're fighting the dragon-blooded?
Correct.
That's probably not a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, Finn would probably be good. I know, you know, as the player is not here this week, but like picking out a squad that can be relied upon to not see what they're not supposed to remember.
That's most likely.
I mean, doesn't everybody have a squad of, deaf, dumb, and blind? Or I guess deaf, mute, and blind is the better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he could. Yes. So yeah, you guys can find. I mean, how big a group do you want to take? You've got like 50-ish people total.
Do we know how big of a caravan this is? I mean, I guess we didn't ask that question, but could we make an assumption?
3 dragon-blooded, which means probably 30 or 40 guards and 10 times as many enslaved persons. Anything less wouldn't be worth it for them.
I mean, I don't feel like going. One, we have to leave enough here for the company to be functional if we get an extension or another assignment from the prince.
10 dudes. Send
At
solid
most,
soldiers.
Yeah. I would say 6 to 10 at most.
Okay.
But that's my thoughts. I'm more than happy to entertain anyone else's ideas.
No, I think 10's a good number. It's easy, or 10-ish is a good number. It's easy. That size group isn't so large as to be incredibly obvious, and yet it's still enough people to be able to, accomplish what we want them to do.
Yes, and yeah, we'll work coherently as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to do some looking into this Naren, the spice merchant, just as background, or as to, what things I might be able to relieve from him and redirect into our coffers, or in some form or other. Or any, what his reputation is through, see what Little Bat knows, maybe. As to that guy's reputation. Not that I'm doubting, Tene, but just, I don't know that I have time to do anything of tremendous account there. And then obviously I need to, secure the incendiaries. Because why not?
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have a problem using anything even as simple as just, a moderate supply of, like, lamp oil. But...
Yeah. You can get some fire dust.
Oh, that's right. We have a bunch of that, don't we?
Yep. Alright. So, what do you know? Or what can you find out quickly? He's a respected merchant, clients across the Origin's noble houses, the prince's own kitchens. He moves in elite circles. He wears nice clothes. Urbane, witty, indulgent. Known for giving impromptu lectures on the history or provenance of a particular spice, or ways it's used in cooking in foreign lands. And apparently throws the most amazing dinner parties. It's not noble, but he's treated almost like one. That's the public obvious face. You can get that in a day easily. Anything deeper than that, you're going to have to dig.
Okay. I mean, I would like to find out, does he have, like a main... I'm guessing his, actual volume isn't tremendous, but does he have a warehouse or a site that he typically works based out of?
His compound, I guess you could call it, his little sort of collection of buildings includes a couple of small warehouses. Yeah, and it's all like, there's his house and his spice warehouses and some other. and other things, like all in this one little area. It's all surrounded by a wall. He's got light private security, nothing serious, but uh, nobody's gonna like casually stroll in there and walk out with 2 pockets full of saffron.
Right.
You wouldn't call it, obviously it's not gonna keep out an exalt, but like a serious professional attempt, a good organized heist gang of mortals, you think could probably hit it, but then again, there may be more inside.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his deliveries are, measured in pounds or even ounces of some of the more expensive stuff.
Right.
Most of his deliveries you can carry in a small handbag.
Right.
He makes larger deliveries in person. And so some of the nobles can afford to buy enough to last them for a while. So he'll go and deliver those in person.
Yeah. I don't know, it feels like he's going to be a hard one to hit because he deals in such exclusive merchandise that getting rid of it is going to be a little too obvious.
I mean, if you off the spice guy, every cook in Origin will know, and then every now obviously he's not the only spice merchant, but he's the one that all the nobles have contracts with. You know what I mean? So that's where you're kind of, yes, killing him would not be subtle.
Right. I think, how feasible would it be to set up, obviously I can't do it because I won't be there, or at least not all of it, but to kind of set up some surveillance to see if he makes contact into his darker side of things and to be able to hit the off-the-book stuff while leaving his regular business, so to speak. But I need to locate it, you know what I mean?
Who are you going to ask to do that?
Boy, I don't really want to put him into that. I mean, part of me wants to say Little Bat, but I don't really want to put him into that position. I suppose that could be something I could go to. What's his name? The Spy Master. What's his name?
Two-Tongue?
Makala, yeah. Not the Spy Master, but he trades in information. Just don't know what to give him. Anybody else have thoughts on this?
So your main hesitation for using Makala Two-Tongue is that you're not sure what to give him in exchange.
Well, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, I have to give him something to get what I want.
Right. Something that I've used a couple times, and granted, the power differential was a little bit more, but is kind of a future favor. And you have to bound it in with, not, within reason and reciprocal to whatever it is, you're asking him to do. But that might be a way to do it. I mean, it's risky, but it depends on how much we want his help.
Well, that's true. And I should have some favor because, at least in my mind, I was tipping him well for the gem exchange.
Right.
Right. So
yeah, I have no problem with just owing this person one.
Yeah, I think that's the way to approach it, actually, is to, basically go in with you've seen what I can do. I can owe you, but I need to know about his other dealings and where that might happen.
Alright, so, you're going to go back to the same tavern, bar, place that you had previously met him in, with its, alcoves and quiet corners and whatnot. And He listens to you and says, "This is not an easy proposition. The risk-reward is great. Or the risk is great. The reward is proportional."
What would you feel to be appropriate compensation?
Information is valuable.
Indeed.
Information is valuable to me as the questions of what Avaros' dealings are is to you.
Let me ask you a question. As one who deals in information, do you have a spider problem?
I do not have a problem. I am aware and careful. I observe. I watch where I'm going. One doesn't want to step on a spider with a brown face. But no. Repellents having spider problem.
So, could I mean, I know this is something I want to say I hear Nim doing all the time. Get a read on,
Yes.
is he saying he's... I'm kind of fishing to find out, maybe, one, is he affiliated with Jarek, or does he appear to be maybe a bit of a rivalry?
You've had that conversation already. And he's staunchly apolitical. He does not support Gem. He does not work against Gem. He takes contracts. He doesn't work for the Spider. He doesn't particularly consider him a rival. But he refuses to get involved in questions of politics, especially when it comes to taking action.
Mm-hmm.
His point is that if he had dealings with the Spider, then the Spider would be as entitled to privacy as you are. No more, no less.
Okay. Well, there went that sort of... Because part of me was thinking that if of course, if the Spider is basically an information... Sorry, I'm trying to think here. Like, I don't want to oversell anything. I'm trying to think what I have that's potentially worth, a fair amount. And Steve, at least, is drawing blanks.
Well, also keep in mind, once you make him an offer, you'll have the opportunity to roll to attempt to persuade him. So, but you do have to make him an offer.
I'm tempted to say something implying that the spider population could change soon.
Okay.
I don't know if that's... I mean, that feels like information that could be used.
It changes the balance of power in the underworld.
Right.
So, I mean, as a thief, you know that, hey, someone putting a hit on another player is actually useful information.
Right. And him being apolitical, I think he would just... staunchly apolitical, I'm inclined to believe he would use that to further his own agendas. Probably not try to win favor with the Gem side of things.
That's
a reasonable supposition. Let's put it that way.
A reasonable supposition, yeah. You could always attempt to read intentions and find out after you give him the information. Be like, what does he seem like he's going to do with it? And if you roll well, I would tell you. But
I don't think I have very good skills in that, though, because that's what, wits and socialize?
Perception socialize.
Actually, well, I do have an excellency, so that is useful there. I'm thinking that's probably the biggest card I have to lay down, is that there could be some changes in the spider population in the near future.
All right. Well, go ahead and roll some. Well, you're being honest, so that's charisma. Go ahead and roll that charisma presence to attempt to socially influence him to take your bargain.
Charisma presence. Present. Oh, okay. So, charisma and all right. Hang on a
And you
second.
have an excellency in presence.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we should be full on moats currently, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to spend 2 there out of personal on this. So, all right, so let's do the thing. So does the 2 that I spend go in bonuses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And give yourself an extra 2 in bonuses for the stopping.
Oop. Hang on. Let me go back. All right, so sorry. I also have a lap companion at the moment who's being awkward.
Demanding?
Yes. Okay, so there's that. No automatics, correct? I don't think I have any.
Charms that are going to help you with automatics?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
7.
Oh, yes. He says, that is foreknowledge that will be very helpful indeed. Some of his sources may be orphans. Well, others may be wonderful. I thank you for this. Thank you for this. I will use it to my advantage.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, can I do the read intentions, or do you have more to go through before we do that?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
And you said that is perception socialize?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the same thing and spend 2 on that.
Okay.
And I mean, other than, crook talking to crook, I don't know how to kind of describe it, but, just kind of trying to watch to get based on what you're saying, to me, it sounds like he's looking at this as, oh, there's gain for me if this happens. So he's probably not going to tip him off. But, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and roll that, and I can tell you for sure.
Not as good, but not bad. 4.
But he is almost certainly 3 steps into planning how to take advantage of this. So that would, yeah, you don't feel like he is likely to do anything to stop it from happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He says, well, may your enemies have poor fortune and your friends good. And with that, he gets up and is ready to leave.
Okay.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at @andrpgs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast, on Discord at Me and Steve RPGs, and as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.